Hi, it's Natasha. Thanks for joining me today. I have a mini power yoga class for days that you don't have a lot of time, but you still want to get some stretching in and some strength in. You could use this as a warm-up or pair it up with another class. All right, start on your back in a quick Shavasana corpse pose, and then we're gonna move into some flows. I cut out the middle portion of the class, again, just to keep it shorter today, but I'll do a full-length version on another day, which will be a power hour class. Come onto your back. If you have music you'd like to play in the background, I highly encourage it. Otherwise, just join me. Arms out about 45 degrees. Let your feet flop out to the sides. Maybe pick up your shoulders and head and set them back down. Take just a grounding moment to come into your body, come onto your mat, into your practice. Try to let go of any outside distractions, expectations, or judgment on you, your body, and your practice. Allowing yourself to be present and focused on the moment. What your body is feeling in each moment, how your breath moves through your body and moves through your poses. Never feel like you have to be stagnant or hold still. Feel the breath and the body move organically and go to the places that feel good but also are a little bit of a challenge, finding your edge in shapes and poses. Let's relax the muscles in the face, the forehead, eyebrows, the jaw, and the tongue. Soften. Allow your hips and your shoulders to be heavy. Allow the earth to support your weight. And then we'll set our focus into the breath. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let the belly rise. And a big sigh out. Keep going until you're emptying out the lungs completely. Inhale deeply. And exhale completely. Continue to let the air out, imagining any stale air, negative energy, expectations, again, just leaving. Feel that toning on the core as you push the air out of the body. And feel that expansion in the ribs, the heart, the lungs as you bring in this fresh air, new energy. Maybe you practice with a Ujjayi pranayama breath done through the nose and listening to the sound that makes with that slight vibration on the back of the throat, and listening to the ocean, sense of calm, sense of strength and power as you listen to your own breath. And then let's just start to circle the wrists and the ankles, bringing back movement into the body. And on your next inhale, pull the feet together and the arms over the head. Stretch long as you pull the ribs away from the hips, fingers away from the toes. Activate the body, engage the core, and then exhale, pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. You can rock, make little circles one way and little circles the other way. Gentle rocking down low. Maybe let the feet hover, feeling your sacrum, your tailbone and glutes. And then up as you bend the knees into the mid-low back sacrum. And maybe a tighter tuck up a little higher. Beautiful. Let's take waterfall, where you just float the limbs up and move, again, just any way that feels good. Circling ankles, wrists, bouncing limbs, or just kind of floating around here. Lateral and forward and back. Let's take happy baby. Bend the knees. See if you can reach for the outside top of the feet. No force. If you can't reach, you can grab the shins or ankles. And then draw the knees towards the shoulders as you melt the tailbone and press the shoulders down, the back of the head down. Chin away from chest. Continue to breathe. We can take a gentle straddle wherever you can reach for. Go ahead and widen the legs to the sides of the body, dropping tailbone, dropping shoulders, feeling the growing the inner thighs and the hamstrings. Again, no force, still early. I'm gonna take half happy baby. We will be rolling off the mat. If you think you need a padding under your knee, you might have a blanket nearby. So take a half happy baby, and hopefully you have a little space from side to side of you. We're gonna keep the right leg in our hand, either the ankle or the foot. And the left leg extends long in front of us. Nice. Take a gentle twist here. Grab, switch hands and pull that leg across. As you drop the right shoulder, the leg shifts over to the left. You might create a little shelf for the knee with the hand, or just grab onto the shin, the calf, and breathe into your twist. You can take the gaze towards the right hand, and one more deep breath. Now we're flipping over. We're just gonna turn ourselves to the back, towards the back of our mat. Shifting your knee outside your hip for a half frog. Go ahead and press onto the forearms. So you're in a sphinx with a half frog, knee outside the hip, foot below the knee. If you have a little more space, maybe try to press up a little higher to a little cobra. And you could do a couple cobra rolls, pressing your hands by your chest, rolling up and down the spine, waving up and down. And we're gonna roll right back where we came from. You can lift your left arm and thread it through, maybe drop a little weight onto the shoulder, and then push yourself back. Land on the right foot, sweep the left leg up for single leg bridge, perhaps rolling your shoulders a little closer together, but really just focusing on the hamstring and glutes, so we don't need to puff up through the chest. Just squeeze your booty up. Strong quad, hamstrings, and glutes. That left leg is up high. And then go ahead and send that left leg long in front of you. Now you can puff up through the chest a little bit and slide back down. We're gonna take our happy baby again for a breath and do the same thing on the other side. So we'll do half happy baby, sweep the right leg down, lengthening through the hip flexor and quad. As you hug the left foot into the hand, pull the shoulders back. Taking your right hand to twist the leg, left shoulder stays down, gaze towards your left fingers. You can create a shelf for your knee or your calf, or just grab on. The knee might not land all the way over, that's perfectly fine. One more breath before we flip over into that half frog, cobra or sphinx to the back of the mat. So if you need a little space, you can wiggle your way to the middle of the mat and then slide that knee outside the hip, starting on the forearms in a half frog, half sphinx. If your back is feeling good and you have a little more space to give, start to roll up and down in some little cobra rolls. Head up last, head down last. Inhale, exhale. Slide the right hand back so we can come right back where we came from. The left foot is gonna land and our right foot sweeps up into bridge, maybe wiggling the shoulders a little closer together. Space between chin and chest, and then just a really strong left leg. Toes to sky. Take a breath. Squeeze. Lower the right foot, and then keep stretching up. Feel that right quad and hip flexor still active in both glutes now. And then slide on down. Nice work. Go ahead and give yourself a nice big hug, and we're gonna start to rock and roll, trying to balance up in boat. Roll and freeze. Roll and freeze. That little bent knee half boat. Inhale, exhale. Now this half boat to low boat for 4. Squeeze it up. 3, waking up that core. And 2, low and high. And 1, low and high. Can you pull your knees into your armpits? Compress round the spine like you're doing a crow pose here. Hug the heels towards your bum. Take a breath, then bring your hands behind your head for some crisscross up high in boat. 8, 7, 6, elbow to knee. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back. All right, we're gonna bring the soles of the feet together. Peel your feet open like a book and draw your knees to the side. You can use your elbows as you fold to pry the knees a little bit wider. Baddha Konasana. Butterfly legs. Releasing through the hips and external rotation and breathing into the back. All right, we're gonna move on to some hip mobility. Keep the right foot in front of you and sweep the left foot back. So you're in a mini pigeon, little 245-degree angles. We're gonna start to roll back and forth. Lift the knees, try to keep your feet down, and in the same place, drop them off to the back of your mat. Sit up nice and tall, do that again. Inhale, roll to the front. Exhale, swivel to the back. Come back to the front, and we're gonna add on to this. Listen up. Take your hips, your knees up and over to the back. Drop your hands. Jump the right foot forward. You'll lift the hips, jump the right foot forward. Find a low lunge. Lift the shoulders, come back. Turn to your left for Skandasana. And now swivel your knees forward towards the front of your mat. We're in the same position with the left leg forward now. So we'll roll back and forth, same thing. Roll to the back, drop the hips and sit bones. Roll to the front, roll to the back. And if you need your hands behind you to do this, that's okay too. Or try without hands, stay to the back. Hands down, jump the hips up. You'll press onto the feet and then quick switch to a low lunge. Lift your shoulders over your hips, take a moment. Turn to your right, Skandasana, that left knee. Sit if you can or use your hands. And we're back to our starting shape. Let's move through that a little quicker without the extra switches. So we're gonna switch to the back. Jump to lunge, Skandasana, and reset, left foot forward. And you might scoot yourself around if you want to be on your mat. Swivel to the back, hands down, jump lunge, turn Skandasana, come home, reset, right leg is forward. Sweep the left leg around, and then scoop yourself forward, shoulders forward to lift your butt, straighten out your back knee. Hands behind head, you're in a 90-90 lunge. Right elbow to left knee, left elbow to left knee, open twist. Close it, and side bend. Twist it, and side bend. Nice. Now left hand to left hip, stretch up and over. Right arm over the head, lateral stretch, little pelvic tilt. Feel the quad and hip flexor and the side body. Open up to your right over the open space and side bend here. Left arm over the head. You can let the head hang heavy. You could do little shoulder circles. Take some breaths. And then stack. Pressing into the right hand for a kick through. Kick the right foot forward. Take the left foot to the sole, the left sole to the inside of the thigh for like a half tree and forward fold. So listen to your body. Your hamstrings might still be feeling tight. It's early. Don't force the fold. Just find your expression. Find your breath. Try to find some ease in the stretch. We're going to roll onto this left knee. Press your left hand diagonal from your hip and just thrust the hips forward. Stretching again through that front body, chest, shoulder, activating the glutes forward. Come on back, right hand down. Step on the left foot so we can come right back where we came from in that thread. And lift. Awesome. Slide this right foot back so we can come back to our starting point. And we're here. All right, we're gonna take that on the other side. So let's sweep the legs forward to boat. Now left knee forward, right knee back, mini pigeon. This right foot is gonna swivel in front, shoulders forward to lift into a 90-90 lunge. You'll straighten out the back foot and just square out your hips. Knees 90-90, hips thrust forward. Bring your hands behind your head. We have our left elbow, right knee twist, right elbow, right knee. Twist and side bend.
Hips can hinge, so you have that space to fold, and side bend. Right hand to right hip, stretch over to the right with your left arm over the head. Hips forward, feel that left hip flexor, your quad, your side body. Now over the open space, left hand comes down, right arm over, and you can make some arm circles. You can drop the head heavy, see what that feels like to release the neck. Bring the arm back up, maybe circle that wrist. We're gonna step on the right foot. The left foot is going to kick through the open space, have a seat, and then externally rotate the right hip. Sole of the foot to inner thigh like tree pose. Turn towards your left and find a forward fold, wherever that is for you. Try to elongate the spine, and then maybe drop in, round it down for another breath. Swing your right arm diagonal from right hip, and then push onto the shin and knee, lifting up through the hips and chest. I've heard this called stargazer. It's kind of like a wild thing, side plank. And have a seat. Switch arms, left hand comes down. We step on the right foot now. Elevate the hips and back to your starting point on the knees. Good, from here, we're just gonna bring our hands down and come into tabletop for some cat-cow. Inhale, lift head, chest, tailbone. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push the butt forward, tuck the tailbone from the core. Inhale, swivel your hips side to side, wag your tail. And then same thing with the shoulders. Pull the shoulders side to side. Maybe some head circles. Good, and then just move organically. Barrel circles right and left, wiggling around, pressing into those fingers. Stretch the shoulders over the fingers. Sit back in child's pose. Shoulders forward, hips back. Shoulders forward, straighten out the knees, chest, chin. Hold. Come back up, press back down. Round forward, knees, chest, chin. Wake up through that upper body strength. Lift. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Pedal your down dog. High and low, high heel, low heel. Spread those fingers and grip into the mat to protect your wrists. Use the whole hand. Swivel your hips from side to side. And we'll move into some plank spinal waves. Rounding forward into plank, round cat. Good, and then lift the tailbone, arch back. A little quicker and more fluid, roll forward, arch back. This time roll forward. When you hit your plank, let the hips drop. Up dog on toes. Turn the heels up, shine the heart through, shoulders down. Gentle back bend. Tuck the chin, exhale, round. Down dog one more time, rolling forward, up dog. Exhale, tuck chin, downward facing dog. Walk the feet closer to the midline, lift the right leg up. We're gonna come forward, knee to nose. Now, hamstring curl, lift the knee, bend the left knee. Now, both knees are bent, right knee towards sky. As you come forward, straighten the left knee, high tuck. Hamstring curl, both knees bent, chest towards knee. Tuck, hamstring curl. Awesome. Go ahead and straighten out that left leg as you can, and then start some hip circles. Right hip swing, circle outside, and then reverse that a few times, sweeping together, open. End with your hips stacked, heel towards butt, hamstring curl. Press into those fingers. Open up through that side body. We're gonna circle the right knee underneath us and land on it in a side plank on knee. So a kneeling side plank or a modified side plank. Take a breath here, tuck the pelvis, and then use your core to lift up, and you can circle out the wrists here. So we're on the right knee, left leg is extended. Taking a side bend to gate pose. Lengthen the tailbone down and reach towards those left toes. Now lift, twist, right fingers, reach out to left toes. Do that 2 more times. Side bend gate. You could sweep your left hand to right hip. And then maybe left hand to left hip, Reach over for your toes with a hip hinge, sending the hips back, the chest forward. One more time, gate pose, side stretch. And this time, we're going to drop off and thread the needle. Lower carefully onto the shoulder and head. Turn the gaze, left arm up and behind the back. Spin the chest, the shoulder, the gaze up. Breath in and out. We're going to try to use our core to come out of this. Slide your left hand out and then use your abdominals to pull into airplane, flat back, hover. Sweep the right hand really far towards the front of the mat. Here we're going to go into a tree pose. Grab your ankle, see if you can press it to the inner thigh. The more space you have between your knee and your right hand, right knee, right hand, the easier this will be. We're going to try to swivel the hips forward and send that knee wide towards the back of your mat in external rotation. Send the chest up, push down into that right shoulder. So we're in like a kneeling tree pose side plank. Shift onto your left foot. Sweep the right foot forward into your figure four. All right, did we get there? Cross your right ankle over your left quad. Again, widen the knee from that hip. And you could sit down for a moment. Pretty intense stretch on that right hip in external rotation. Take a breath. We're gonna lift our hips, swing this right foot to lizard lunge to the front of the mat outside the right hand. Let's go, lift the hips. Left hand comes down, right foot swings right. Did we make lizard lunge? Find me here. Find your shape in lizard lunge. Play around with maybe hands and forearms. Maybe adding a twist, horizon, the arm up and over. You could try to hamstring curl, grab foot. We can try to hug in, deep quad hip flexor, and then stretch back, pushing your foot to the back of the mat to open up the chest and deepen the twist. Maybe you roll to the knife edge of the right foot, take a breath here, and moving on, come back, tuck your back toes under, swivel the left hand to the left foot, and find a half camel, half lunge. Listen to your body, where can you take this? If you can't quite reach your heel, press your hand into the small of the back. You might even turn up towards sky, or perhaps drop head. Moving into just a couple more poses here. Half moon. Step on the right foot, right fingers extend. Find your half moon. Stack shoulders, stack ribs, stack hips. Flex or point out those back toes. And we're moving into standing tree. Gaze down and forward. Take your right hand, find your left ankle. Can we stand as we push our foot into our thigh? And then pull your palms to heart center, lengthen your tailbone down, tuck the pelvis forward. Broaden the knee, external rotation on hip. Take a nice deep breath here, grow your branches. Inhale and exhale. Nice job. Shake everything out. And we're gonna flow back to get to the other side here. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend option. Exhale, halfway fold. Utkatasana chair pose to halfway fold. Two more, chair and fold. Toes and then heels, chair. And all the way down, forward fold. Uttanasana, let your head be heavy, shake it out. Take a breath as you lengthen the tailbone up and drop your heavy head. You can bend the knees if you need to. Halfway lift, bend knees, land hands, jump back to plank. Take a breath here, either chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, down dog. Rolling plank, roll through up dog. Exhale, down dog. Roll through up dog. Maybe add a chaturanga from here. Heart and gaze forward. Up dog, down dog. Walk your feet closer together. Left leg lifts high. Bringing in a knee to nose. Come high on the right toes. Tap your nose. Now bend both knees. Lift the left toes. Try to bring your chest toward your right knee. Two more. High tuck, straighten right knee, left knee to nose. And then lift the knee, bend both knees, hamstring curl the top heel to butt. High tuck, shift forward into the hand, straighten right knee, bend right knee. Bring your chest towards your right knee and lift. Now straighten out your right leg, lower your heel, and start some hip circles. Out and down, and then down and out. Ending with knee over hip, stack, hamstring curl, press into those hands, chest towards toes. Swivel this knee under for kneeling. Modified side plank, circle out that right wrist. Take a breath here and we'll come up to the top for gate pose. Stretch towards those right toes, side bend, and folding twist. Left hand to right toes. Reach it over, not dropping in just yet. Lift for side bend, gate pose. You could take that right hand across to left hip and twist. See if you can reach those toes and open the shoulder. One more time. This one will stay in our twist. Thread the needle. Gently land onto the shoulder, hinging at the hips, lifting the tailbone, right arm floats behind back. Try to spin the shoulder, the gaze, the heart up, and breathe. Using your core to get out of this. Right hand floats to the back of the mat. Left arm lifts, chest forward, gaze forward, head forward, and then lift your way up. So we're gonna create lots of space here by reaching our left hand as far away from the body as you can. Grab your right ankle and try to come into this kneeling side plank tree. Push your hips forward and see how much you can rotate your hip, knee towards the back of the mat. Then press down into those left fingers, up through the right shoulder, chest. Breathe. Switching feet, right foot down. Kick left foot up and over for a figure four. Now we're in a side plank figure four. You can hold it here, or maybe come to seated for a moment and really feel that external rotation stretch on the hip. Take a breath here. This left foot is gonna slip to outside the left hand for lizard lunge. Lift your hips. Your right hand comes down, face downward, belly down, left foot slips out. Lizard lunge. And then explore. High, low, forearms to hands. Horizon, swivel and take that left hand towards the right foot, maybe hamstring curl, see if that foot's available to grab. Hugging in, expanding back. You can roll to this knife edge of the left foot up front here and continue to open up the hips. Tuck your right toes. Swivel the right hand to the right heel. You might need to back this foot up. And then find your half camel, half lunge. Stepping on the left foot, pushing your chest up, your hips forward, and then exploring the shape. Whether you stay kind of angled to the side or you open up to traditional camel. Half moon up next. Cartwheel up. Step on that left foot. Bring left fingers down and lift. Stacking shoulders, ribs, and hips. You could take the gaze up to challenge that balance. And then we're gonna take that gaze back down for tree pose. Take your time to lift your fingers off the mat. Left hand grabs right ankle as you lift the chest. Bring that foot to inner thigh. Palms to heart center. Remember, you're pressing your foot into your leg and your leg back into your foot for that nice, strong connection. Inhale, arms float up, grow your tree. Lengthen your tailbone, firm that core. And exhale, palms through heart center. Beautiful. Give everything a nice little shake. Circle out the wrists, maybe bounce here. And we just have a tiny little piece of the flow to go. Nice little shoulders, and maybe some little spinal rolling back bends, sweeping back bends, up and down. Hang, swivel, hang, swivel. All right, let's move. Inhale, sweep it up. We're gonna take our right foot forward, knee up, send it forward, root lock on that core. Step this foot back for pyramid. Land, hips stay forward. Float the heart, forward fold, heart forward. When you get down, release the head and hands. Swivel right hip forward, left hip back. Your knees can be bent if you need them, or they're straightening out. One more breath here. We're gonna turn to our right, open our knees, and drop our hips to Malasana. Awesome, use your elbows to pry the knees apart, and we'll do some little knee dips. Rolling onto the knife, inside edge of the foot, internally rotate, externally rotate one more time. Now widen your heels and toes, and lift into goddess. Lengthen the tailbone down, side bend, 8, 7, 6, 5, 2, and 1. Spin forward, low lunge through Vinyasa. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. We're gonna jump forward, walk the feet forward, bend the knees, bounce, and take a big hop, hips up, strong arms, strong core. Float down and fold. Halfway lift, find Utkatasana chair, half fold, chair, and rise. Left knee up, pull it in, root lock on that core. Good, extend and sweep back. Stepping back for pyramid, land, toes, heels, hips forward, float, forward fold. Keep the knees as straight as you can, and then drop in, head heavy, hands release. Pull the left hip forward, right hip back, and try to lengthen, straightening the knees, lengthening the spine. Take a couple breaths here. Turn to your left, open in Malasana as you drop the hips low. Knees wide, elbows pry knees apart. Lengthen the spine, push the chest forward, squeeze shoulders back, and then those little internal rotations. Pull the knee in, wide. Pull them apart, use your abductors as you open. Widen and grow into your goddess. Nice work. Pulsing goddess. We're gonna lift your heels up at the same time. Right and left. Pulse, right, pulse, left. One more set. And turn home, low lunge. Float through Vinyasa. Plank chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Walk forward, bend the knees, jump forward, maybe a handstand. And come down, forward fold. Root to rise, let's come all the way up, and we're gonna repeat that. Palms to heart center, and add our last little piece on. Right knee up, sweep forward. Step back, float down, pyramid. Turn right, lower hips, Malasana. Now, your right knee, so I'm not mirroring you, the back knee is going to drop. I'm gonna turn to the back of the mat towards my right knee, horizon. Swivel the left hip down. Let the shoulder lift, and then push down to come back to Skandasana, bending into that back knee as deep as you can. Now, let's do that one more time, and then we'll float on. So come back to Skandasana. Drop that right knee, turn right, horizon, swivel. Come back, Skandasana. Now, lunge to the front. Sweep it over. Your plank, maybe lift the left leg and hold it. Chaturanga. Then up dog. Exhale, down dog. Walk forward, jump forward. Halfway lift to fold. Root to rise. Left knee up. Palms to heart center. Sweep it forward. Sweep it back. Forward fold to pyramid, moving a little quicker. Turn over your left shoulder, lower your hips, Malasana. Internally rotate the back knee, your left knee. Turn to your left, send your right hand out, hip drops, horizon lunge. Swivel back to Skandasana and do it again. Come back into Malasana. Left knee, turn left horizon. Turn right Skandasana, shift into lunge. Right foot sweeps back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Last big jump forward, maybe it's a handstand. And land, and drop into boat. Whew. All right, feel free to do those flows again. And like I said, I'll record the whole class with the whole extra middle piece for those of you that like longer classes. Otherwise, one more crow in boat. Option to actually rock yourself into crow. Roll feet down, hands down, shift forward, crow. Take a breath. Malasana, crow in boat. Squeeze everything in. Take a breath. Low boat. Land your low back and sacrum. Let's do our crisscross down at the bottom this time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips down, our feet down, hips up. Wiggle your hands in towards your ankles or feet. Roll your shoulders together, lift the heart, chin away from chest. One big breath here. Expanding through the heart center, using that whole backside to open the front, and then release. Waterfall. Circle the wrists and ankles, ground down through sacrum, and happy baby. Right where we began, come into Shavasana. Feet wide, hands out, fingers curl, lift the shoulders, lift the head, chin up, eyes closed. Feel your heart beating. Feel maybe some sweat trickling. So nice calming breaths to slow down the heart rate. Take some time to settle into the body, to find that stillness and peace, and reap the benefits of all that quick movement, hard work. As always, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed that shorter power flow. Let me know how it went if you were able to follow along. If you get a little bit lost in my classes, I highly recommend you doing them more than once so you get really comfortable with the movement. Thank you so much for joining me. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.